Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pop Culture Cafe. I am Huck, and this is it. This is time for the culmination of all of the Hitchcock, movies that I've been plowing through. There's, you've seen this thing a dozen times in the wild for $1. So 16 out of 16 Hitchcock films that I've gotten through. And today we are finally going to take all 16 of those films and we are going to rank them. I mean, look at that, look at all this good stuff. Man. This is just like such a good collection. If you guys don't have this, get over to Amazon and pick this up. It is an absolutely fantastic collection. I don't know if I've showed you this, but I will now. So here's a little booklet that comes with it. Just, chock full of all kinds of good stuff on each. It's hard to do because it's just, but there you go. Yeah, it's a really great book. Got a lot of the posters and advertisement materials used for each thing. Like there's even like some storyboards and stuff like that in there. So this is a nice little bonus thing to have with it. Very cool. And of course, this Criterion is excellent. Came with its little, brochure and breakdown as well. So, but this is it. This is time to take all Hitchcock films and put them in order. So, what have I learned about Hitchcock? Well, of course, he is the master of suspense. It's quite good. And also little techniques of his that are prevalent throughout all these films, mostly to great effect. One in particular is rear projection. He uses rear projection so well and so often because Hitch loves the studio. He doesn't always, he prefers like setting everything up, creating a mock-up of something if he can in the studio and shooting that way. He's just more comfortable in that controlled environment. I've learned that from all of those making of and behind the scenes and stuff like that. But very rarely does he use any kind of green screen. So because you can really tell, I want to say in Family Plot, I think there was more of a green screen for the background when they were driving. In a couple of shots, you can kind of tell. It's always around hair that you can kind of tell because hair looks like it's keying out a little bit. But for the most part, it was all rear screen projection. And I don't know why I'm pointing that. I just found it fascinating as I watched that how often he uses it to great effect. Anyway, so let's get into it. Let me show you what I got here. So here is my tier that I've already created. I just dropped all the posters in random order, no particular order. They just sort of loaded in. So there they are. And I'll just grab each poster as we go and put it in the section that I like. So the sections that I have for Hitchcock is masterpiece, great, good, okay, and didn't care for it. Question is, are any of Hitchcock's films going to appear in the didn't care for it column? I don't know. Let's find out. All right. So let's just go ahead and start right down here with Family Plot. Family Plot is the last film in this collection, and it was his last film. The year that one came out, let's see, was 1976, and that's the one that starred Bruce Dern. So let's see, what do we think of Family? You know what? To be honest, I freaking loved Family Plot. I thought it was great. So I'm going to put Family Plot in the great category. I thought that was really, really good. Frenzy. Let's see. Frenzy is the Frenzy. I'm going to put. Let's see. It wasn't. I didn't think it was great. Frenzy, like after Torn Curtain, he went very low budget with the actors, I should say. So yeah, I'm going to put Frenzy in the good for now. In the good. It might be okay, but yeah. For now, I'm going to just put it there. Good. You know what? Actually, I'm going to put it at the okay. I'm going to put it in the okay for right now. All right. Marnie, I thought was really good. I thought that was a really good film. And again, having not seen any of these, I had no preconceived notions. I didn't look at reviews. I didn't hear what people were saying about it. Good thing I watched all the making of stuff afterwards because I learned about which ones Hitchcock didn't really like himself and what failed at the box office and what critics didn't like. I didn't want any of that swaying any of my, viewing pleasure, as it were, when I was watching these films. So I could just see them as a film and like it. All right, so look at this, North by Northwest. You know what, guys? I'm just gonna put this one as a masterpiece. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It was the first one I watched. I've been wanting to watch that for a long, long time, and it did not disappoint. Psycho, of course, yes, masterpiece. Got to be up there, right? Come on. Look, back to back. I hate to say it, but yes, Rear Window, also masterpiece. I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. I just don't want it to look like I'm being too masterpiece heavy. But, you know, he's got some masterpieces out there, y'all. Rebecca. Rebecca, I'm going to say, was good. It was really good. It started off a little traditional, especially after watching three of his, like I watched North by Northwest, Rear Window, and Rope before seeing Rebecca. And I didn't think it was as strong, but when you got near the end, I thought it really picked up. Rope, another masterpiece, y'all. It's a very simple film. It's all done as one take. It's shot that way as one take. And I was just drawn in. It's all the acting, because it's in one set. It doesn't, you know, global hop like a lot of his other films, which are always fun in his films. But Rope is super intimate, and it was an experiment that he did that I don't know if I don't think he thinks it was a huge win, but I do. I think it was, you know, a lot of films nowadays try to do everything in one take. Alfonso Cuarón does a lot of that. Like there was Gravity, Birdman, things like that just try to put themselves off as a one-take film. And that was one of the early ones right there. Saboteur. All right, so Saboteur, this is kind of another one of the earlier films. It was, I'm going to say that it was good. Yeah, I'll say it was good. Because it had some fun stuff in that film. Yeah. Now, Shadow of a Doubt was also, I think that was just good for me as well. It had an intriguing story. It's very intimate. It kind of took place in this one little town. It was. I'm just going to keep it at good. Now, The Man Who Knew Too Much. See, again, I thought this was really good. I don't know what, you know, kind of a hit it was back in the day, but I thought this was great. The Man Who Knew Too Much was great. Doris Day was absolutely great. Fantastic. Trouble with Harry. Look, I know this is super popular for a lot of people. It was just okay for me. It was really just okay. I get that it's a comedy, and I get what he was going for. And it was interesting. It was like, that's one for me that was really interesting enough to be a rewatch for me, because I'm like, it's not clicking. Whereas another one I will get to didn't quite hit that mark. So Torn Curtain also I thought was great. I thought Torn Curtain was great. It's another one of those films that's that one I learned after the fact Hitchcock was not a fan of. He didn't get along with Paul Newman and Julie Andrews, yada, yada, yada. But who cares, you know? Who cares? It's about the movies, y'all. Okay, here we go. We're getting to some classics here. All right, you know, I'm going to skip these two, and I'm just going to go to Topaz and just say that Topaz was great, bordering on the I didn't care for it, because I probably it's not a rewatch for me. Yeah, it was just okay. These were just okay. All right. Now, Birds and Vertigo. I know these are considered classics, but I have to tell you, Vertigo, I'm just going to put in the good category, because it's a good movie, but the interplay between James Stewart and Kim Novak, he's really abusive to her. Like, you know, when she's originally presumed dead, and she, you know, resurrects as a, you know, someone who looks just like her. And then he starts asking her, like, hey, you look just like this girl I used to love. So can you change your hair color? Can you start wearing this? Can you start doing, I'm like really making her be that other girl. And she, you know, for obvious reasons, if you've seen the movie, you know, she plays along with it. But, and then the very ending, I didn't care for it. Absolutely didn't care for it. I was like, what? Are you kidding with that? So yeah, it's just good. Vertigo is not a masterpiece. I know I guess it's mentioned as a masterpiece, but I didn't consider it that. And I'm going to say same thing with The Birds. The Birds was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought the performances were really good, pretty fun. But, it's got another, I guess it's an okay ending. It definitely leaves you hanging while all the birds are attacking and killing people. And the bird effects were excellent, very, very good. But, there's some films just like when it's over, everything clicks for me. And those are the ones that fall into the great category, right? So if they were just good and didn't quite stick the landing or something internally didn't work, that's why they fell into the good category. And okay is really just possibly a one watch, with the exception of Trouble with Harry, which I'm pretty sure I'll give another watch and another shot. Now, okay, pardon me. Let's go drink it here. So now let's go through each category here and see where they all rank. We'll just start at the bottom here. So the okay, I think it's obvious. We're going to make that the number one because that has the potential to be a good. And then Frenzy, and I think that order is pretty good. Topaz was the least, was probably my least favorite of all of them. With Frenzy just notching it up a little bit. So yeah, so these two again these are the ones that didn't have tons of stars, even though it came after Torn Curtain with Paul Newman and Julie Andrews. But his experience on that's what made him on these last three films, Frenzy, Topaz, and Family Plot, cast relatively lesser known actors. Okay, let's move up to good. All right, good. Let's see. That's pretty good. So yeah, Birds I'm going to put in front of Vertigo. Shadow of a Doubt. Saboteur. Yeah, this is kind of a tougher category. These are almost all on par for me. This is pretty crazy too, Marnie. I'm gonna make. I'm literally deciding this right now. I'm gonna go Saboteur as first. I know that seems weird, but right to some people probably, but yes, my list, y'all, was hit me with the feels. It was a very intriguing film. No real stars in that, but the story had me really gripped. Marnie, I think I'm going to keep second because I thought Sean was absolutely fantastic. Like he was just, you couldn't take your eyes off him. Tippi Hedren was really great in that film. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Birds third because that's the other Tippi Hedren movie. And she was great. Like of all the women in these things, he's got a lot of strong women in these, but sometimes some of the women are more femme fatale than strong. Like Saboteur is a little bit more, femme fatale, like help me kind of thing. Whereas she's pretty kick-ass in Birds, except at the very end, like she's being attacked by birds and she's all like silently going, and she's being pecked to death. And I'm like, scream! Like, come on, scream, yell, say, somebody come help me. All that stuff. You know what? I think I will keep. Yeah, I think I'll keep the rest the way it is. I think I'll go Rebecca because that had a really good ending. That stuck the landing pretty good on the end. Shadow of a Doubt. It was just kind of like, even keel throughout. And Vertigo, I'm going to make last because I just didn't like his treatment of Kim Novak, nor did I care for the ending. So while it's a well-made film and I understand its place in Hitchcock lore, that's where it's going to fall for me. All right, now the great films. Oh my gosh, these are all so good. And whatever order I put these in, know that they are marginally different. Let's see. Gosh, I'm gonna put The Man Who Knew Too Much first because that was just, God, it was awesome. It was so good. It's one of the few films. A lot of these films involve a man who quickly falls in love with a woman so that the plot can get going, which is very convenient for so many of these. But in this one, they're already a couple, and there's something to be said. Same thing with Torn Curtain. They're already a couple, so it's nice to have that established so you don't have to deal with creating that relationship, that it's already there. And then it's what you do with that relationship in the film that takes off. So yeah, I'm going to put that as a super strong, it could almost go up to into that masterpiece category, but I'm going to leave it right here in the number one spot for great. And both of these are so good. I will say Family Plot I was the most surprised by because it was the last one in the collection here, and not a lot of big stars, but it's a really good blend of comedy and drama. It's got Karen Black also is in this, William Devane, and of course Bruce Dern. Man, it's tough. And I really like Torn Curtain as well. Let's see. And Torn Curtain is another big globetrotting thing. You know, I part of me wants to switch these two, but because I was so pleasantly surprised by Family Plot, and I don't know why, because I never really hear about Family Plot, and it didn't have any huge stars, whereas this one did. So I kind of went in, with high expectations, and they were really good. But and Julie Andrews, she's also another one of those where she's a good female role, but I wouldn't say she's like that strong female, like say Tippy in Birds or Grace Kelly in Rear Window. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that third. I'm gonna make that the order there. That's pretty great. All right, and now, oh my goodness, the masterpieces, y'all. We're here are the masterpieces. Okay. I don't know, man. This is crazy. All right. Psycho. Look, I know Psycho is touted as his greatest film. And I'm telling you, I watched it last because I'd seen all these other films and I'd seen that one before, but I haven't seen it in probably decades. So a lot of it I completely forgot. I forgot about that. It even started with her, as a Janet Leigh as a bank teller who basically kind of steals this money, and that's what leads her to the Bates Motel. Forgot all that stuff. So, and Anthony Perkins is absolutely breathtaking in this film. He's so freaking good, y'all. And Rear Window also. Didn't know anything about it. It's stunning. What a stunning thing. Oh gosh. I want to say, I'm going to move this over. I feel like my 1-2, these two fight it out. But yeah, you know what? I know it seems like hokey, but this is literally coming from the heart. After watching all these wall to wall, end to end, I did find Psycho to be top drawer right there. With Rear Window, I mean, just right on its heels, because I was absolutely blown away by Rear Window. And gosh, these two interchangeable. This was my first watch, North by Northwest, and Rope came shortly after. It was literally these three were my first three, and I thought they were masterpieces. So I think I will just slightly edge North by Northwest because of, say, its global, spy, global trotting quality, and the intimacy of Rope are just, they're so different in tone. But yeah, I think I'm going to roll with that. So yeah, there we go. So believe it or not, there weren't any I didn't care for it, because even though these were just okay, and I wouldn't rewatch probably this last one, it wasn't just like, oh my God, I can't with this movie. So that to me is what I didn't care for it would be. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the performances. I didn't care for the story. But there was a lot about Topaz that was good. Like, performances were really fun. It had John Vernon. I think that was his name. John Vernon. The guy was from Killer Clowns. He was really, like, his presence is so good in that film. So it had elements enough in it to keep it from being down here, and they didn't care for it. So, there you go, guys. That is my tier for the 16 Hitchcock films that I watched. What do you think of that? Do you think it is a good representation of how you see Hitch's films? I'll give you a nice blow-up screen of it right there. There it is. Number 1, Psycho. 2, Rear Window. 3, North by Northwest, followed by Rope. Next category in the greats, it's The Man Who Knew Too Much. And Family Plot, followed by Torn Curtain. In the good category, we got Saboteur, then Marnie, then Birds, then Rebecca, followed by Shadow of a Doubt, and finally Vertigo. And in the last category, which I just thought was okay, was The Trouble with Harry. Again, Trouble with Harry, I thought had great performances that I will give a rewatch to. Could nudge that up into the good category. Followed by Frenzy, and finally Topaz. So that, guys, is my top 16 tiering, ranking, if you will, of all the Hitchcock films I plowed through. It was so much fun doing it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.